All right, we saw Tropical Depression 19 develop this afternoon, and it continues to creep closer to the southeast coast of Florida. As of the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory, winds still at 35 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 8 miles per hour, positioned at 25.5 degrees north, 79.5 degrees west. The pressure holding at 1,008 millibars, although within the last couple of hours or so, we have seen the pressure try to drop just a little bit based on some surface observations. A little closer inspection to the track takes it right across southwest Florida tomorrow. We've got the chance for some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and the possibility of isolated tornadoes. We're going to talk all about that in your complete Storm Shield forecast. Coming up, your Fox 4 News at 10 starts right now.
19 years ago today, the world as we know it changed irrevocably. We remember the images of destruction, of devastation, and loss of life. But we also remember the strength, the resolve, and the unity of a nation that refused to be divided by any force. Tonight, as a nation reflects, we join with our community to pause, to mourn, and to look toward the light. Tonight, Southwest Florida remembers. And we're starting with a special tribute to this late firefighter who served our community in Bonita Springs for years. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Patrick Nolan. The Bonita Fire Department in Braxton College, which trains first responders, put together a stair climb in memory of Mark Weiss, who recently passed away from pancreatic cancer. Now, the stair climb, they went up several times at a training facility, amounts to about 110 stories by the time they were all said and done, or the height of the original World Trade Center. And tonight, I'm showing you how it all unfolded. With Old Glory waving outside, these young first responders in training file in and head up the stairs in honor of a Bonita Springs firefighter who died from cancer. And they do it on this day in memory of other first responders, many who never returned from racing up the stairs of the World Trade Center to rescue others.
Hopefully we could turn a negative into a positive by doing something like this and honoring those fallen firefighters and Lieutenant Mark Weiss of our department, and we're trying to raise some money for his family as well.
We know that he left a wife and 2 daughters behind, and we wanted to help him as much as we could.
And they did, reaching out to the woman who was once married to him and smiling about his daughter's resemblance to her late father.
Said you look like mini dad. Yeah.
Family is what this is all about, as they honor the families of first responders lost in 9/11. Some were just kids when it happened.
I was in 3rd grade when the Twin Towers came down.
Some were not even born when 9/11 happened, but they know the stories of the heroes, and this is for them.
I feel like those guys that put their life on the line, they deserve at least this, if not even more.
His mom proud and relieved the next generation is being taught to never forget.
We have to keep 9/11 alive for the most part.
Keeping alive the reverence for those who've passed in this proud tradition of helping others, a tradition that sometimes means the ultimate sacrifice for their families.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you for doing it.
Thanks.
Mark was just 49 years old when he died from pancreatic cancer. The organizers of today's event tell us 100% of the proceeds will go to his young daughters. We're talking about how to support businesses in Southwest Florida. You probably have your favorite, maybe a restaurant that gives you some extra goodies, or a bookstore that lets you stay just a little bit later than normal. Tonight, you're going to hear about a local business that's raising the bar when it comes to customer care as they work to get a much-needed surgery going. Rochelle Aline has that story.
When you first come to MPM Automotive in Port Charlotte, 2 things quickly become clear. They take pride in their work and their customers.
Treat them like family, and we get along well with them.
No one knows that better than Greg Garman.
This is my local auto body shop. I bring all of my vehicles that need repair here.
But little did Greg know their customer service would go way beyond cars. It all started a little over a year ago when a blood test showed that Greg's kidneys were failing.
It was a complete shock.
Since then, the dad and Southwest Florida nurse has been put on dialysis.
It's very taxing because they're doing in 3 hours what your kidneys do over 2 days.
And now it's gotten to this point.
Unfortunately, I need a kidney.
Now that's where MPM Automotive comes back in. Not only is the management team spreading the word about Greg's need for a donor, They're also looking to raise some money.
We're going to do a fundraiser on October 10th.
They'll be selling food and raffling off prizes, so Greg doesn't have to worry about bills once he gets the surgery, and they're confident it will happen for him soon.
Who does that? What auto body shop mechanic does that for one of their customers? You know, I mean, that's amazing.
And if you're wondering who instilled this level of service into this family-owned shop, here's who the owner says is to blame.
My mom. Yeah, my mom. My mom's a great lady. So yeah, she told me that.
Now, while that auto shop is planning that fundraiser, Greg is still in need of a kidney donation. For more information on how you can donate to him or someone else, or to get involved with that fundraiser, you can visit our website, fox4now.com. In Southwest Florida, Rochelle Aline, Fox 4, in your corner.
Thank you, Rochelle. New tonight, Lee County Sheriff's deputies are arresting this man in a 2-year-old homicide case. His name is Roy Justin Jones. He was arrested yesterday and charged with second-degree murder in the case. His arrest stems from a June 2018 shooting in the 2000 block of Payne Lane. A man was found shot in front of a home there and later died from his injuries. Jones remains in the Lee County Jail tonight. Keeping your food on the table starts by keeping our farm workers healthy in Southwest Florida, and that's why a training program is aiming to prevent another spike in COVID-19 cases among farm workers in our region. It's through the University of Florida Southwest Florida Education Research Center in Immokalee. Sandra Rodriguez explains how this program works for all of us.
They are the backbone of our country's multi-billion-dollar agriculture industry. Farm workers keeping fruits and vegetables on our tables. But keeping farm workers healthy has been a challenge throughout the pandemic.
The workers are coming back from the north starting now, right? So there's going to be a lot more of them between now and November.
That's why the University of Florida's Southwest Florida Research and Education Center in Immokalee has designed a COVID-19 safety training for farm owners and supervisors with the goal to proactively teach them all the things they can do to keep farm workers protected.
We figure if we make their buses better, we make things better for the farm workers and the growers and everyone.
The training is based on CDC guidelines and consists of 3 sections. What is COVID-19, why farm workers are at high risk of contracting the virus, and precautions.
On the buses, for example, the buses, they should make sure they keep the windows open as much as possible, put a partition behind the bus driver, and then out in the fields, they need to expand the number of hand washing stations.
So far, 2 training sessions have already taken place with over 600 people signing up to attend. Thiston tells me they typically charge for their training program, but these COVID-19 safety trainings are completely free.
We had people last time, by the way, we could tell they were sitting in their trucks with their cell phones in the fields.
The virtual trainings are offered simultaneously in English and Spanish through Zoom video conference.
I just wanted to make it real easy and convenient because again, it's so important that people understand how to deal with it.
The next virtual training will be on Wednesday, September 16. You can visit fox4now.com to find out how you can register. In Collier County, Sandra Rodriguez, Fox 4, in your corner.
Tonight, Cape Coral Police are sending a message that any student caught making threats through virtual learning is going to face serious consequences. It's coming after a 14-year-old student at Island Coast High School was arrested and accused of threatening to carry out a mass shooting. Lee County School District says the safety of its students and staff is the highest priority, and they do plan to discipline the student to the fullest extent. Police say the student was arrested yesterday after sending threatening messages to 3 teachers on 2 separate occasions via the Lee Home Connects virtual learning classroom. The teen was charged with 3 counts of making threats of a mass shooting.
If you make a threat like this, it is serious. We take it seriously. And as police officers, our #1 goal is to make sure the school, the people inside of it, and anybody who's around it are safe.
A teenager was taken to the Lee County Detention Center where he reportedly admitted he did not actually plan to carry out the threats and only sent the messages because he thought they were funny. A death investigation underway at a North Fort Myers marina tonight. This morning, the manager at Prosperity Point Marina put in a call to 911 after smelling a strong odor in a boat off one of the docks there. The body was found on one of those boats. The vessel belongs to a 65-year-old man. Our crew also saw the coroner arriving on scene. There's no word yet on what led up to his death. A Charlotte County student is hurt after a crash involving a school bus. This is in Punta Gorda. Troopers say the school bus driver stopped at the sign at the intersection, but then went into the intersection right in front of that sedan, causing the collision. 15 students, I should say, were on that school bus. One of them was taken to the hospital for a wrist injury. The 19-year-old driver of that sedan had to be pulled from her car and flown to Lee Memorial Hospital with serious injuries. The school bus driver is charged with violation of right-of-way from a stop sign. NCH Baker and North Naples will allow visitors again. Starting Tuesday, this is what to keep in mind. The hours are from 9 to 11 in the morning and then 4 to 6 in the evening. And they're restricted to just one immediate family member or caregiver per patient in the hospital. Guests under 12 years old are not permitted, and visitors must adhere to mask and distancing guidelines inside. If you feel like you're drowning in bills, you're definitely not alone, but never fear. How one area utility is promising to give you a power lift when it comes to your finances. Bars across Southwest Florida and the rest of the state getting ready to open in just a couple days. And if you're getting ready to make a visit, you might need a refresher, not just on serving, but drinking responsibly. It's one of the most well-known car dealers in Southwest Florida, but it's just been sold in a deal that really can be described as huge. That's next, Derek.
And we've got a new tropical depression forming close to home. We'll have the latest on what impacts it could bring to our weather for this weekend. New forecast coming up. All right, things getting really busy in the tropics. We'll get to that in a second, but first things first, we want to show you our Rubenstein live cam here. Looks like a little bit more traffic here on a Friday night on Pine Island Road. Some folks having a good time out in the Cape and all across Southwest Florida, maybe out and about this evening. Of course, we had some storms earlier today. Things have quietened down for the time being, but we do expect chances for rain to ramp up here this weekend, particularly tomorrow, as we have a new tropical depression that is formed just off the Florida East Coast. You can see there it is right there. This is 19. Intermediate advisory 8 o'clock, winds still at 35, so it has not intensified yet. We've got some indications, though, that the pressure is trying to drop in it, meaning the storm may be trying to organize before it moves onshore later on tonight. But you can see there's the forecast cone. It'll stay a depression as it moves across the area, so it is not necessarily going to follow this line, but it could be anywhere within this cone here throughout the day tomorrow, so it could be this far north, it could be this far south. I do think, though, it has a better chance of becoming a stronger system the farther south it gets, because once it gets out over the Gulf, a farther south track will put it over water longer. It's going to have more real estate to get itself going. We'll have some gusty winds with it as it moves through, and also, really more importantly, I think we're going to have a better chance for some heavier rainfall. We've already received quite a bit of rain in some areas throughout the week with some of those afternoon storms, and any additional rain is going to cause problems. So there's a flood watch in effect through tomorrow into Sunday morning for that potential for heavy rainfall. Periods of heavy rain. It will not rain the entire time this weekend. It looks like tomorrow, the second half of the day, will be wet, possibly some rain lasting into tomorrow night. And on Sunday, we'll have some scattered showers and storms around. Winds will be gusty at times, 20, 30 miles an hour. That's about the most I can expect out of any of these storms as they move on through. And with that flood risk there, because the ground is saturated in some spots, that could cause some flash flooding and some street flooding in some areas. So again, don't drive into areas where water covers the roadway. That is one of the biggest issues that tends to happen with flash flooding. Get folks trying to drive through the water because they need to get where they need to go, and they misjudge the depth of the water. Don't do that. It looks like, again, that tornado threat is going to be there too, with wind shear on the north and east side of the circulation. You may need to make some outside adjustments to your plans, maybe bring them inside briefly, but it looks like the rain chances, though, will be ramping up into the day tomorrow. You can see there's a circulation there leaving the Bahamas. It should make landfall later on tonight, Miami-Dade County. It looks like it's going more west-northwest here, so if you kind of extrapolate that, should take it through southern Collier and then eventually offshore by tomorrow afternoon. But notice most of the rain, though, is on the north and east side, so we're going to be dealing with this as it wraps around, even once it gets out into the Gulf. Temperatures are in the 70s and 80s now. It looks like it's going to be a sticky night across the area with temperatures into the mid to upper 70s, with showers and storms in the forecast beginning late tomorrow morning and continuing into the afternoon. You can see that we still have wet weather all across the area throughout the day tomorrow. But then by the time it looks like we head towards, I think we get into Sunday, I think we'll start to get more spotty activity as predictor shows. Tomorrow morning, notice a few spotty showers, then a better chance for rain tomorrow, some gusty winds. Those chances will continue tomorrow night and into Sunday as well. Any one of these storms at any period of time could produce easily within an hour 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, and that's why that flood threat is there. We'll be watching it throughout the weekend. Temperatures into the 80s for the weekend with more cloud cover and extra chances for showers and storms, and then back to afternoon storms here with more sunshine next week.
Tonight, the folks at Florida Power and Light reminding you they are offering financial relief if you're struggling to pay your electric bill. At the start of the pandemic, FPL did enact some special policies to assist more than 5 million customers, they said. As the state's unemployment rate's currently over 11%, though, a lot of people are still struggling to pay their bills, including the power bills. A spokesperson with FPL tells us this direct relief fund is a one-time shot for customers who are significantly past due on their electric bills.
There's a maximum one-time bill credit of $200. Those are for customers who have at least 3 past due FPL bills. For customers with at least 2 past due bills, there's also a credit amount that's less than $200.
He says FPL will actually be reaching out to customers who qualify, so they'll reach out to you directly as early as tomorrow, he says. For more information on this relief fund and other relief funds available to you, go to our website, fox4now.com. Look for the rebound. Health experts just want to remind you the pandemic is far from over. Keep that in mind, they say, if you're headed to the bars as they reopen on Monday. All bars in Florida can open at 50% capacity as of Monday. And while you're out and about, well, so will the virus. The CDC is projecting the nation's death toll could get up to 200,000 in just a matter of weeks now. A local healthcare professional says if you are going to a bar, have a plan before you put in that order.
When these environments get loud, people tend to get closer together so they can talk to them. That's only putting them within a few feet distance. That's where the air droplets are going to spread much more easily.
He says you might want to increase that distance between you and the next person nearby in the bar if you're planning to hit the bars next week. A huge sale for Fusila Kia. Documents from the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, are revealing LMP Automotive Holdings Incorporated is buying Billy Fusila's dealerships in Cape Coral and Port Charlotte. Between the vehicles and the real estate, the deal closed for a cool $36 million. And our coverage continues after this. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and like any cancer, of course, there's a little or sometimes a lot of fear that can come with that initial diagnosis. So tonight, our weekend anchor, Shari Armstrong, is giving you a closer look at one way doctors are treating it locally without surgery.
So you met Grandpa Ed. He shared his prostate cancer journey with us, including treatment options.
He said you have 2 routes to go.
Radiation or surgery. He chose the surgery. Pause. This is the part that stops so many from getting screened or even moving forward with treatment. But one doctor tells me up to 40% of prostate cancers don't even need treatment. They can be managed by a doctor's watchful eye. And for others, there are options, including cutting-edge technology right here in our backyard.
Inside of this 21st Century Oncology location in Naples, a turning towards technology, a shift in the way you might view cancer treatment. You're looking at the CyberKnife. It's still radiation, but guided by a robot. Dr. Chandra Cross, a radiation oncologist here, says though knife is in its name, there's actually no surgery required, meaning the only thing cut is time.
That allows us to treat prostate cancer in 5 treatments instead of the usual treatment of 45 treatments.
Dr. Cross says CyberKnife uses a laser-like system to deliver high doses of radiation. Image guidance software helps this robot to track and adjust treatment, even if the patient or tumor moves. He tells us it does that with sub-millimeter accuracy. The CyberKnife's used to treat non-cancerous and cancerous tumors with no recovery time, he says. And that
means lesser time for the patient in and out of doctor's offices, being able to get back to that golf course or going back to work with minimal side effect and no blood loss.
The loss comes, Dr. Cross says, when you don't take action.
Not getting screened, you're kind of hurting yourself, because if we do have to treat you when you're a later stage, that's more treatment and more side effect, and your life expectancy is shortened. Even though majority of patients don't need treatment, we need to find those minority that need treatment, and we can impact their life expectancy.
So just keep in mind that there are a range of treatment options for prostate cancer. It just really comes down to knowing what's going on with your body. And that's why we're encouraging you to
get screened. Get screened.
Get screened. Get screened.
Get screened. Shari Armstrong, Fox 4, in your corner.
Thank you, Shari. And still to come in the next half hour, only in Florida, a guy impersonating a cop by a cop. How that came to pass. An Army hero bestowed the Medal of Honor. We're going to take you to today's emotional ceremony. And we're going to take another look at how Southwest Florida and the rest of the country is marking September 11th. And as we go to break, just a quick look at ceremonies and reflections in South Carolina. We'll be right back.